And under the information for broccoli, it says that broccoli contains something called sulfur. I knew I wouldn't be able to say that. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and thank you for watching today. I have been subscribing to this magazine called Eating Well, and it has recipes and articles. It's a beautifully photographed magazine, and it has this article in it called Foods to Fight Seasonal Allergies. When you take a look at the article, it lists 3 foods: broccoli, salmon, and citrus, and then it talks a little bit about each food. Broccoli, because it contains something called sulforaphane, which is an antioxidant, and according to a UCLA study, it fights airway inflammation, helping allergy and asthma sufferers. And according to this UCLA study, you only need to eat 100 to 200 grams per day, which is about a cup of broccoli to get the benefits. The next item is citrus fruits, because they contain something called quercetin, which I've talked about before. And quercetin is nature's antihistamine, and it helps symptoms like sneezing, runny nose, and congestion, according to a Japanese study. And it seems to help blunt the expression of genes that control the histamine response. Apples, red wine, and onions also have quercetin in them. And finally, the third food is salmon, and it's the omega-3 fats, EPA and DHA, that act as antioxidants and prevent your body from releasing histamines. So that would be wild-caught salmon, not farm-raised. So what I thought that I would do is combine these 3 foods in a meal, and I wanted to come up with something, rather creative. So I tried to put a Moroccan twist on the dish, and I hope that you guys will like it, and you would be willing to share with me some of your favorite ways of making salmon, especially if you have a creative way of combining these 3 foods. So I'm going to cut away to the recipe right now. But before I do, I want to say one quick, I promise, word on genetically modified salmon, which late last year was approved by the U.S. government for sale in grocery stores and restaurants across the United States. The company that manufactures this salmon is called Aqua Bounty, and they say that it will take about 2 years before you actually start seeing it in stores. But I wouldn't be surprised if they very quietly started shipping small amounts out here and there. So it is very possible, since it's not going to be labeled, you would not know whether or not the salmon that you are buying is genetically modified or not. So I've been doing some research, and so far I've come up with a few ways to, if you want to avoid this salmon, here's how, a couple of ways at least, that you can do it, and that is by buying wild caught. And all salmon or all fish has to have a country of origin on it, so look for USA, and stay away from farm raised, not only because it could be a GMO, but also farm raised doesn't have the same nutritional profile that wild caught salmon does. It doesn't have all those extra nice omega-3s and astaxanthin in it. So it's a nice protein, but it doesn't have the nutritional punch that wild-caught salmon has. Additionally, I have heard, and I haven't researched this a lot, but I thought I'd pass it on anyway, that any salmon coming out of Panama is going to be GMO, and that's regardless of whether it's wild-caught or farm-raised. So just be aware, country of origin, USA, and for now, wild-caught. Okay, that's it. And I'll be talking more about GMO salmon, as the months go by. But for now, fun stuff, fun recipes. So I hope you like my recipe. And as I said before, if you have your favorite recipe, put it down in the comments because I want to hear about it. All right, here's my Moroccan salmon recipe with broccoli and a little side dish. I'm just going to chop my broccoli, but before I do, what I'm doing right now is trimming the edges of the stem, because this is like my favorite part of the broccoli. It's very tender and it's very flavorful. And the edges, around the edges, are tough, but this part here is delicious. I'm putting that off to the side. Now I'm going to chop up the rest of my broccoli. The broccoli's all chopped. I'm going to put it in this pan with a steamer basket and some salted water. Then I'll put this on to steam, cover it up, and get the salmon ready. The salmon that I'm using is this Silver Bright Kita salmon. You'll see here, this is the language you want to look at. Wild caught, product of USA. I dried off the salmon with a paper towel and seasoned it really well with sea salt. Now the fun begins. I'm going to take some of this Moroccan curry spice that a friend of mine got for me when she traveled to Morocco. Use any curry spice that you like. You just want to give it a nice exotic flavor that will play well with the citrus. So we're giving a good, I'm being really generous with this because I really like it. Gonna rub that in really well. Okay, just want to make sure that that spice gets in everywhere into the meat. And then, because the citrus is a little bit sweet, I'm going to add cayenne pepper. Add as much or as little as you like. Oops. Okay, there we go. Get that rubbed in really well, too. Okay, I'm going to set this aside and prepare the citrus. I preheated my oven to 400 degrees, sliced up orange. I've got orange slices and lemon slices, and I'm going to add the salmon. This is parchment paper that this is sitting on. And then I'm going to add some more orange on top and some alternating orange and lemon slices, just like we did on the bottom. I'm going to drizzle over a little bit of olive oil. We're going to go about a tablespoon of olive oil drizzled over the whole thing. I'm also going to add, and this is optional, but I do like the balance, about a quarter of a teaspoon of honey, and this will cook down and make a sauce. Now I'm squeezing the orange juice. I've got a quarter of an orange here. And I've got a quarter of a lemon, and I'm going to do the same thing with the lemon. And then I'm going to close this up And I do that, and I'm not the best at closing up fish in parchment, but basically what you want to do is, starting at one end, you're just going to fold the corners. There we go. Fold the corners, just keep folding all the way around. You're trying to seal the fish in the parchment. There we go. See how that's working? You just keep folding and folding and folding. And then when you get to the end, I'm going to cheat and use a paper clip and just seal off this end so that everything stays closed. And I'll probably put one on the other end too. I'll put one down here where it's starting to come apart a little bit. Let's just refold this. This really does work most of the time. There we go. Okay, so right here, I'm just going to reinforce this little section with another paper clip. If you are better at doing this than I am, you won't need the paper clips. I went back and refolded and resealed my fish in the parchment, so now it's all secure and it's ready to steam in the juices, and I'm going to put this in a 400-degree oven for 15 to 18 minutes. Because it's 3 big pieces of fish, I will probably go closer to 18. The salmon is ready to come out of the oven, so let's go look at it. All right, there it is. So let's open it and see what this looks like. If you want to, before I do this, if you want to know if your salmon's cooked, take your knife and push it into the meat. If it goes in very easily, which that just did, your salmon's ready. So, there we go. And there it is. Here's a good close-up look at it. The smell is incredible. I'm going to plate this and show you my anti-allergy dinner. And there it is. I sprinkled the fish with a little chopped parsley because a little parsley never hurt anybody. The broccoli I seasoned with salt, a little garlic powder, and a drizzle of olive oil. And for the heck of it, I've got mashed sweet potato right here that I mashed up with some coconut oil, cinnamon, and nutmeg. And there you have it, my food to fight seasonal allergy dinner. Hope you like it. I know I will.